Hi, Paul.
Hi,
Great to have
hi.
you around. How you doing?
Yeah, same here. I'm good. I'm good. How about you?
Yeah, very good to very good to. I had quite a stretch today anyway, but I'm pumped because this is the first episode of the podcast, and and I'm having you
Mm,
opening it. That's big. So it's great to have you.
Same. I mean, I'm excited to be here.
Oh, good, good. I would have wanted to or love to introduce you, but I think the best thing is for you to introduce yourself. For those who don't know, because most of
Okay.
us.
I mean, yeah, I'm not that popular anyway. So, hi guys. My name is Paul Emmanuel, and yeah. So to give a very quick background about myself and how I got into crypto. Generally, I've been in this space for like a few years. I'm like dating back to 2017. That was when I bought my first Bitcoin, but that was $5 Bitcoin because I wanted to invest into a Ponzi scheme, but like MMM, right? But then I lost all my $5 then, and but then I got very, very interested and very intrigued by what Bitcoin is all about. So I started reading deep to understand a bit more about Bitcoin and how it works under the hood. Then after then. I got to start putting my attention to airdrops because I didn't have the funds to start like buying up Bitcoin at those low prices, right? So over time, I learned about Ethereum as well. Also learned, okay, you can actually buy other tokens and not just Bitcoin, right? So it also made me quite interested. So straight forward to few years later, when I now I'm now learning more about Ethereum layer twos. That's how I got to know about Immutable X, right? Immutable X, the idea what actually made me quite intrigued then was that okay, they mentioned that you can buy NFTs without paying fees, and also you can batch transactions, like you can basically okay, how their system works, right? You can maybe you don't have to always well, how what's the best way to actually describe this, but that's just the shortest I can actually do, right? So sorry, I mean uh can you cut this? I
Okay.
mean
Okay, so from the
yeah,
invisible experts, right?
yeah, basically, yeah.
Okay, okay,
So
okay.
yeah, so I got into yeah, Immutable X. I started like reading about layer twos, and that's how I got to know about Starknet, right? So basically, Starknet is a layer two on it on top of Ethereum, and what actually makes it quite intriguing is that it offers users very low fees, seamless UX, and a whole lot of other, I mean, use cases like account abstraction and a whole lot, basically, right? So in 2022. That's actually when I started building up the African community on Starknet, right? So over time, we have done a lot of stuff. We have done so many stuff like Starknet Lagos Conference, different boot camps, and a whole lot. So that's basically my background. And so just to cap it off, I'm a community builder at Starknet Africa and also a growth marketer at High Partners.
Oh, that's a lot. That's a lot. But like for most people, or let me speak for myself, I got to know
Okay.
you through Starknet.
All
Then
right.
Darlington, you always posting about Starknet, and I was like, okay, Cairo. But it was really interesting getting to watch you build then. And but one thing I would like to ask is that
Okay.
you must have had quite a number of opportunities then or probably places to build. Why did you choose Starknet? Why did you choose Starknet?
Okay, so the major reason why I've actually been building or maybe being on Stacknet is because of the vibes, the community, and also the tech, right? But first off, I have to talk about the community, right? I mean, it's more like I call it one big family, right? It's a community whereby you can always reach out to anyone, they will respond to you. You can reach out to the foundation, you get responses, and also basically they just want to see you build. And when you build stuff, you get rewarded for it. And And as well, Starknet is also one of the protocols, one of the blockchains that have rewarded a lot of Africans. I don't know how many people that actually followed up with the ECMP airdrop or grant system that has gone on Starknet for like so long. A lot of Africans can actually attest that, okay, they have benefited from this, and me as well have also benefited from this. But apart from the benefits, right, you have to look at, okay, what what are the core tech behind it? So what actually makes Starknet like a lot different from other layer twos is because I mean it's a vital roll up uh, and for Starknet generally it's a lot cheaper. I mean, there's this stuff called blob, and blob capacity on Ethereum is actually getting fuller over time, and over time. But then, because of the implementation that has happened on Starknet, right, this won't actually get to affect Starknet, right? So these are the core stuff about Stacknet, and then you talk about account abstraction, you talk about batching of transactions, you talk about session keys, whereby you can get to play games without getting to sign every single transaction. Then we talk about pass keys, right? That you can, let's say you want to sign into your account, right? You don't need to always log into your agent wallet to play your game, right? Just use your username to sign in, and you are good to go. So apart from that, there's a whole lot of other stuff, right? Like the team being pretty much available to, I mean, talking about the foundation, also the Starkware team, and as well the African community has been so amazing. I mean, when you come around, you get to learn a whole lot about others, and also you get to also like um, get help from people that are building in the stagnant ecosystem. So it's actually what's keeping me around, and I'm still around basically, and I'm still going to keep on growing the community and see how like it goes on from here.
Wow, that's incredible. You know, one thing I actually wanted to ask before was that
Hmm.
how have you been able to maintain, how would I put it, this longevity in terms of community building? I mean, several chains have tried to build stuff, and after 6 months or so, they'll just fizzle. But like, Stanley has been doing stuff in Africa for years now,
Yeah.
which I found impressive, and you are still standing out. I mean, several people building on Starknet, teaching about Starknet, still, and all that. So what is really intriguing now is from a community management point of view, how were you able to execute this long-term commitment? Because it's very hard in blockchain anyway.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. So basically, I mean, I think it boils down to the principle I have around my life, right? So first off, I have this long-term mindset generally. So once I'm doing something, I have in mind, okay, I'm not just doing this for the moment, right? I mean, it also goes on with like my relationship with anyone or anybody basically that is in my circle, right? It's more of, okay, we are playing the long game here. And basically, when you're playing the long game, you have to have like strong conviction and a whole lot of other stuff. But one most important thing to note as well is that, okay, while you're playing this long game, you have to as well um, take note of, okay, what do you get in return, right? And Stagnant has actually been, like I said, Stagnant has been like so rewarding to a lot of Africans. So, and basically, when you're building a community, you don't just want to be the one taking the reward, of course, because when the community around you are also getting rewarded over time and all, the community will just keep on growing like very
Because
wide.
you're
So that
expanding that scope of reward.
exactly. So that has kept our momentum so much because um I mean people let's say in Africa let me say in Nigeria generally up to 9 projects last year got seed grants of $25,000 each, right? So this is not something you see
Wow,
like
that's dope.
common like anywhere, right? So I'm not saying it's all about the money. I mean, it's not just about the money, right? But you have to talk about the community that actually like behind this. And you see a lot of people that are building on Starknet, they have this long-term commitment. So it's basically all boils down to the foundation we have built and to the idea we actually set up, okay, this is actually how I want to run this community. We are not just here for some bullshit. We want to build long term. We want to stay here long term. And most times I've seen that people actually get to follow up with, let's say, what someone leading the community is actually doing. So for me, I always think long term. So every other person that comes and feel, okay, actually, let's do this shit long term. I think it applies to everyone. So for me, I feel the reason why I'm still here is because of my long term mentality, basically.
Oh, dope, dope, dope. I think there was time I was listening to Musk and he was saying that one of the things that sets Tesla and some of his company apart is that they always have this long-term stuff that every day is adding up to a larger span of time, and you have to have that
Yeah.
long-term commitment, which is really
Hmm.
interesting. Still along that line of
Yes.
community management, I okay, let me speak for other people who are probably researching or wanted to ask. I mean, I know up to three, I don't know if they are paid. I know up to three Starknet creators around
Hmm.
UBJ, Flowey P, Sarah,
Hmm.
and it's interesting. It's interesting because they've been creating content about Starknet for a while, whether willingly or. So I want to ask, how were you able to stimulate creators to build particularly on Starknet? Like a lot of them.
Yeah. So, okay. So first off, I have to acknowledge what the Stackway and the Stacknet Foundation are doing, right? I mean, like I always mention, like the incentive part of stuff. But way before the incentive, these guys have actually followed, like they have actually been building this whole community stuff with me, right? But then there's this program called WPL that gets to reward creators to talk about Starknet, right? And also the technology behind Starknet. So, um, but like I said, remember, like I said, before the whole program started, these guys have
They've
been
been
so
doing it.
consistent with Starknet. They have been doing it. So it wasn't a surprise for them to actually get rewarded to do the same thing they have been doing, right? So that's actually how Starknet is. Even before they did their airdrop, they rewarded people that have been consistent and have been doing what they are doing, right? So the same stuff applies to these guys that are currently contributing to Starknet. So I mean, there was no rocket science behind actually getting these guys to contribute to Starknet. It just basically, um, like I said, us having the foundation we have. Okay, this is what we are doing. This is how we do stuff, and also a lot of events we have had that these guys come to it and say, okay, it's not like every other event you have been to. I mean, okay, you attended, you're actually one of the speakers at Starknet Lagos conference. Like we
Yeah, I
try to
think
do our
about it.
stuff like yeah, we try to do our
Dope.
stuff like very different and very cool, right? It's not just about okay, the numbers, the whatever, it's all about quality. So over time, it's all about quality for me, and that's also how I've built the community, and also that's how I expect it to keep on growing like over time.
Wow. That's great. That's great. And I really hope to see more creators create stuff on products, technical side, I mean, around Starknet. And still in that line, you've, it's not an overstatement if I call you an accomplished community builder. Yeah, it's not an overstatement. So
Yeah.
in your experience, what are the main, apart from the stuff everyone reads from the book anyway, like what are the
Yeah.
actual practical stuff that you think has been helpful or or any community manager around can adopt and really excel in whatever they are building, the community they're building?
Interesting. That's a cool question, right? So first off, when you're building a community, you have to first write down, okay, what's goals, what are your intentions for what you're actually doing? Because if you don't have like intentions or maybe clear goals of what you want to do, then I mean it's going to like kind of flop. Of course, when you're starting up to build a community, you might not have it all clear written on the
But
stone, right? Yeah, but when you have an idea, okay, this is actually how I want. So when I started building Starknet Africa, I had in mind, okay, since we don't, when I started building Starknet Africa generally, okay, I started with Starknet Nigeria, then I figured, okay, we can actually go big. So I renamed it Starknet Africa. So I'm not sure a lot of people actually like know about Starknet in Nigeria, like as of 2022. But then I had to use some critical strategies to grow the community, right? So first off, when you figure out a clear plan of, okay, how do I actually grow this? Do I get to host my own events first? But then as of then, I knew that if I hosted like an event, personal event of Stagnant, it wouldn't have blown up. So what I did, I looked out for the one of the biggest Web3 events in Nigeria. Then I had to get the Stackway team to sponsor it. So basically, the idea it kind of like creates here is okay, you are going to an event that a lot of people are. But then you're not just going there to maybe sit on your boots and expect people to meet you. You put in the effort of, okay, communicating with people, telling them about the core
Going
technology.
out.
And basically, exactly. And basically, at the time, we didn't talk about money or anything, right? So what we spoke about then, that was myself and Darlington, was about the whole tech behind Starknet. We spoke about Cairo. We spoke about how early it was because I figured that okay, a lot of people don't know about Cairo, and Solidity at the time, a lot of developers were already like coding Solidity, and people are looking out for new opportunities, right? So these are the plans I had in mind, which we all executed, and it worked out fine, right? So we used those ideas to get people, and luckily, not even luckily, I mean, as the plans went out right, I mean, it's worked out fine because people got to understand, okay, this stuff is still new and there's not a lot of Cairo developers at the time. So if you learn Cairo and you're very good, there'll be a bunch of opportunities for you to explore in the Cairo ecosystem. And that's actually what we are seeing right now. We're seeing people um, be part of open source contributors on Only Dust. We see people build on their own projects, and I mean, even as of now, the competition is still a bit less compared to what you see um, on other ecosystems, like let's say EVM compatible chains, whereby people already know Solidity and all. But there's still a lot more opportunity on Starknet right now, and I mean, it just takes time. I know maybe okay, you might say okay, the market is not favorable and all, but okay, let me take that aside, right? So another thing to take note of, you have to make the environment so conducive for people to actually get into, right? So let's assume, okay, let's put it this context, right? You are a father, right? And you want maybe your family to boom. You want like your family to be so coordinated and all. Basically, what you do is you have to make the environment so conducive for your children to actually like tell you things they are going through, tell you like stuff. That way you can actually okay set them to the right direction. So basically what we did is we try to make sure that okay anyone that comes we get to answer their questions, we get to attend to them. We're always available to help people, assist people, and over time when this happens, anybody that comes in, kind of like tell their friend, okay, this is actually what's going on Stacknet, and this is the potential they heard from us. Then the words kept on spreading because they have gotten to know that okay, this ecosystem is very very or this community is very. Hey, can you hear me? Uh, can you hear me?
Yeah, it's my. I can hear you now.
Okay.
It's all going well.
Yeah. So that's when they get to know okay this community is quite conducive for anyone to join. They can basically build from here, learn be early. I mean, I remember the likes of Sarah, Kaswini, they were all very interested to learn about what Stacknet is all about. And then myself and Darlington were in the Stacknet booths answering questions and when they get to join the community, it doesn't end there. Not like, okay, if they join, ask questions, nobody will respond to them. I made sure I was always available. Darlington also made sure that he was available too. answer this question. So everybody that joined at the time saw the potential. Even right now, if you join the Starknet ecosystem, you would see, okay, that there is always someone available. Even if it's not myself, there's always someone available to answer this question because more like, I mean, I feel basically how life works is people get to learn from what is going on around. So when someone joins and they learn that, okay, someone actually responds to them as fast as possible, then maybe if there's a question that pops up and they know the same answer, they get to also help. So we created an environment whereby people know that, okay, you don't just sit down here, watch everybody to burn down. You can always help. And also, the first stuff I mentioned about community building, you have to set a clear plan. The second is you have to make the environment so conducive for people to,
Conducive.
yeah, communicate with each other like easily, then build from there. Then one most important stuff when it comes to community building is people basically want to grow. People also want to get incentivized for what they are doing. Because if let's say like I made an example of a family man that has children, like has some children and all, and he makes the environment conducive, right? So now if the environment is conducive and these children doesn't have anything to eat, right? It becomes very, very crazy over time. So, apart from
Yeah,
the
that's true.
environment being conducive, right, there has to be some incentive to make people feel okay, they're actually in for something good, right? So let's assume I started building a community and every reward that came just came to me. I eat all the money and enjoy myself or something like that. The community would not grow because they are not seeing what I'm seeing, right? Basically, if someone joins and okay, there's nothing going on, they will just leave, right? But when a lot of people actually like have gotten incentivized for some stuff over time, growing the community becomes like a lot easier because at least they can always like say, okay, this is actually what I've gotten from being part of Starknet ecosystem, and this, that, this, the community just keep on growing. So I feel these are the core things. I mean, make room for effective communication and also make room for people to easily collaborate and also make the environment conducive, right? Then, I mean, over time, there should be some kind of incentive for your community. And as well, as a community lead, you have to set a clear plan. You have to keep the community active. I mean, because if the community stop being active, there's a problem. And over time, it's going to like die off. So that's why we're still here, because we always try to find one or two things to do over time. Yeah.
I mean, even I have kind of learned a lot. First of all, make room for people, make incentives, then what's it called? Allow clear communication, and I mean that's a lot. But there is that leads me to the next thing. You mentioned
Mhm.
incentivization, which I mean a lot of people want to hear about. But how do you balance people from not looking too much on the incentives and also focus on building stuff? So how do you balance them receiving incentives and the passion to still keep building stuff?
Yeah, so that's where some stuff comes in. First off, like I said, you have to focus on a clear plan, or maybe a clear goal, what you want, right? Because if you maybe you start off a community and every week you give $100, every week you give $200, every week you give
And that's what
three hundred
everybody wants
dollars.
anyway.
Basically, no, I mean I understand, but then basically at the time, what you're attracting are people that are just hunting for that money, right? But then if you start out with, okay, this are how we do our stuff, right? This we are trying to teach you the fundamentals. You want to make sure, okay, basically it's all about who you attract to your community, right? So first off, you have to focus on attracting quality community members, quality users to your community, right? So with that, you can easily balance out like the question you just asked me right now. So how we got to attract quality community members, quality users was we went for a conference that focused on not just people that are hunting for rewards, but also um, people that wants to build out something. So when someone that just wants a reward come into the community and say, okay, people are actually learning deep stuff. Okay, that means not like I don't have any room here, but I need to maybe kind of level up a little bit to kind of
Align
suit
yourself.
into this community. Exactly. Then you have a good community. But if you start off with the vibe, okay, you are just giving out money, 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 you are going to attract what exactly you are looking for. But
You
if
are
you start
looking
off
for.
with yeah, well, if you start out with the idea that okay, I want people to learn about fundamentals. I want to actually get the solid builders into the ecosystem. Then over time, you would of course have those two kind of persons, but when one of them outweighs, when the builders outweighs the people seeking for just reward, then you'll be fine.
Mm, got that. Okay, okay. I like where this is
Yeah.
going. But let's zoom out a bit. Talking
Okay.
about Africa, there's
Mm-hmm.
this stuff that happens, not maybe not all the time, but subliminally and all that stuff. And that's chain wars. Some say Starknet is better than whatever, X is better than Y, and I mean, I get the band side of it anyway, which I also participate in sometimes. But what's your view on chain wars, though?
Okay, so personally. I don't know if you follow my Twitter, but I do not like engage
I do.
on chain wars, right? The reason being that I believe okay, it's actually sometimes it can be a very good marketing scheme, as the case may be, right? But then when maybe you are in a community whereby okay, you are just doing your stuff because you just want to deliver value, right? Because I've not actually okay, okay, let me not just make mention of other blockchains, right? But then when I saw like two communities like from Africa as of last year having some chain wars, okay, we have the best community, we have this, we have that, we have I understand, but then even as Africans we should understand, okay, we are still trying to grow our community, you are still trying to grow our we are even still trying to make the global economy know that okay we have the very best, right? So when that's the case, what we should focus on is to collaborate with each other to do something amazing. Because even when we did our conference, we didn't just limit it to okay, we just want to do stagnant stuff. We did a layer two panel session whereby we had people from Base, Katesi, and which other blockchain come around, okay, and in Smarts talk about okay, like we kind of like converse and say, okay, what do you do better on your chain and what do you do better this that and all that? Which chain is the best? I mean, that's a very better way to even talk about the blockchain, like saying okay, this that instead of like turning it into a complete war. I know, like I said, I mean, chain wars could be a very fantastic marketing scheme on, okay, trying to paint everybody's face, okay, that I'm the best, this, that, and all. But I mean, if you're the best, that's fine. Then every other person will feel, okay, feel the need to actually level up, right? Because I mean, I understand, okay, let's say from a stagnant Africa community lead's perspective, I mean, we have a lot more to do. We have to grow our user base. We have to grow the developers building on Starknet in Africa. So we really don't have like much interest into me personally. I mean, I don't know about any other person, much interest in chain wars, but it it could be amazing. I mean, yeah, maybe one of these days I'll try to spend some stuff around chain wars and see how it goes. So if I get eaten up, I will come back to you and know that you're actually the one that caused it.
Okay, I think the main point I got from what you're saying is even if we are to have chain wars or do it, even if it should be healthy, right? I
Mhm.
mean, like it should more be a
Yeah,
collaborative thing than saying
yeah.
X is better than Z and all that.
Hmm.
Yeah, but still in that line, how do you think Africa, or where do you think Africa stands in the future of global innovation and particularly crypto innovations? Where do you think we stand? Because I mean, let me give you the background to why asked that.
Okay.
Some always call us consumers, which I think they actually have a point too. But from that standpoint, where do you think we will stand in the future? I mean, as a continent,
Okay, so I have a question. When you say consumers, like what exactly do you mean?
like users of products, users of chains, stuff like that.
Mm. Okay, so Africa, I mean, we have the numbers, right? But one thing we have lacked over time is the liquidity. So the question is, how exactly do we bring this liquidity, right? Although we
Mm,
have, I mean, when you talk about liquidity, I mean, we have liquidity when it comes to P2P markets, right? That's
yeah,
off-ramp and on-ramp market, and that's basically one major place we have liquidity. But outside that, when you build another product that requires users to kind of like try out this product, like it doesn't really gain that much recognition. That's why you see a lot of
acceptance.
people trying to build fintech products and all this, that, and all basically. Well, where we stand right now, which is why we need to collaborate to actually make things right. I mean, we need to have we need to make, I mean, the OGs in the African ecosystem need to come together, figure out, okay, what are we not doing? What have we not been doing right? Because as the way Africa is, everybody in Europe and everywhere in the world knows, okay, this is the markets we actually meant to be targeting, right? By the end of the day, most top products are actually not from Africa. I mean, so the question is, how exactly do we move from point A to point B to get recognized and also like get, I mean, a very quality product that is out of Africa, that came out of Africa. There's a lot of people are using, because let's say if an African build a project, maybe they kind of like focus, okay, they just want to their user base will just be in Africa. So, but what if, let's say, an African guy builds something that will be used globally? I mean, these are the places we can actually like focus on, because when you build a global product and
Products.
you basically the liquidity I spoke about that we don't have can actually start coming in from there, because we basically don't have the liquidity. Yeah, if maybe someone launches a coin as an Africa, like, yeah, I mean, I think the max I've seen, I've not really seen an African product that went beyond, I don't know, how many that went beyond 100 million market cap. I mean, I'm not saying, okay, the liquidity is just on the coin, but apart from the coin though, I mean, we still need all those volumes, trading
To come in.
volumes, a whole lot of them, like a whole lot of them, right? To actually say, okay, I mean, this is what we're heading to, and the only way we can actually do that is to be able to have global. Okay, imagine if the Binance P2P platform was actually like built by an African and not
That
just
was
built
very
by
good.
it would have been very, very amazing. And let's
Yeah.
say it gained this much attention that it has across African like countries. So I mean, these are things builders should focus on and see ways we can get more liquidity into Africa, and because I mean, when you said consumers, I was thinking, okay, maybe we are making reference to, I'm not sure. Well, of course, Africans, like, if you take the range of people that actually use a lot of products, like outside Africa, you
Mm.
see Nigeria ranks there, you see Kenya, you see Ghana, you see a lot of them, right? But then at the end of the day, we still don't have that liquidity, even though we have the numbers. So basically, we have the numbers, like in population, but we
But
don't
not
have
the
the
liquidity.
liquidity. Yeah, so that's just it. So I would actually want to see um mm, can
Okay, I
I
see
see
how.
there? Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so like what I got from what you have said is, okay, we have the numbers, but not the liquidity. So the best thing to
Yeah,
do, or a wiser thing to do, is to just import the liquidity by building global products.
yeah.
And I think that sounds amazing, actually. That sounds amazing. Okay, I actually don't want this to span too much by wanted to ask you something that, I
Okay.
mean, you've been in careers for some years, you've been building community for some years, doing growth for some years now.
Mm.
If you were to advise your, let's say, your first year career guy self, what would you have told the person, or what would you have told
Mm.
yourself?
Interesting. Well, if I'm to advise someone that is just coming into crypto, maybe this is their first day in crypto, I would say you should you should cut out the noise and focus on building something. So building, when you say building, people would say, okay, you have to always be a developer, this, that. I mean, you must not be a developer. So basically, you can build a community around yourself. You can build an audience that knows, okay, you're a very good technical writer, you're a very good graphic designer, you're very good this one. Because the easiest way to gain recognition anywhere is for people to identify you based on one particular stuff you're very good at, right? So first things first, you have to be good at something. Because I mean, maybe if you have maybe earned millions and from airdrop and all, I mean, money is something that just flies in and fly out, right? And maybe you end up like, yeah, you don't actually have something concrete around yourself, around your name and all. Over time, you actually start to notice that, okay, you need to build something around yourself. So if you're a developer, you should focus on building a good product. If you're a content writer, you should focus on building a community around yourself. People should know, okay, these are the kind of content you create over time. I mean, I've seen a few Nigerians, apart from influencers that just laugh and maybe take our money through meme coins and stuff. I mean, I've seen a lot of influencers like put out good content. People already know, okay, these are the kind of content they create, and they know them for that. And over time, you see, I mean, you can just, I mean, you can just do your stuff because you're already solid in this space, right? You're already known for this. If you're a good technical writer, you're already known for this. If you're a good graphic designer, and people can easily like come to you to give you some work. So when you if this is your first year, you should focus on building yourself. You can just pick a skill set and build that over time. And I mean, in few years you should be good. I mean, generally, because even one thing I've actually learned is when you have some kind of skill set or maybe something that actually brings something to your table, right? Even during bear markets, like you will still, even though markets will be down, you still be good because
You'll still
at
be
least you have
balling.
something you are doing. Yeah. Really balling devil. I mean, you know what I mean? I mean, you have something you're doing, maybe you have a job because of your skill set. But then if you're someone that just came into the space and kind of like just focus maybe on trading, airdrops and all without like some solid skill sets. When the bear market hits, all those trading opportunities will disappear. All those airdrop will disappear. So the question is, okay, what would I be doing? So what you should be doing at the point at the time would be to maybe build yourself. But if you have already built yourself, use the opportunity to develop yourself because a lot of people say that the best time to build is during the bear market because there's there is less noise and people just want to build. Just like I said in the beginning, you cut out the noise, focus on yourself, build yourself, and you should be good in a few years. I mean, I actually believe in a life or in a world whereby everything is based on process. I mean, you can't jump from point A to point D, or as the case may be, unless maybe you did some kind of like shitty stuff or shitty stuff, right? But if you focus on your process, your life, and yeah, follow step by step, you should be able to go far generally.
Oh, nice, nice, nice. I think that's very, very helpful. And now you mentioned the fact that you don't always have to be a dev before you can build something. And I think
Hmm.
that's a kind of there is this subliminal sentiment in the industry generally that when we say builders, we mean developers. And this way, I think quite a good number of people are kind of like what's the best word to use now? Developer shamed into being a builder. But what would you advise someone? For example, now I'm naturally a content marketer, but then I have interest in development. I mean, my brother influenced me anyway. So that's just me. But what do you have to say to other content marketers who honestly don't have any interest in coding, but they actually want to build stuff?
Yeah. So as a content marketer, like you feel the pressure. I mean, you feel the pressure that okay, most times they mostly recognize developers more. You feel that pressure. You feel the
Yeah,
pressure, okay, developers are paid more. They have more leverage to earn more in the space, right? The pressure will be there. But the first question you will ask yourself, okay, what I'm doing right now, am I am I that good at it, right? So if you're not that good, so what tells you that when you start maybe coding that you actually be that good as well as a developer?
Mm,
You understand? So you have to question yourself and okay, if I'm not that good as a content creator, a content writer, or a technical writer, then I have to get good first. So basically, what I do whenever I want to get good at something, I pick out like let's say 3%, 4%, 5% that are pretty good at what they do and what I want to learn, right? I follow up and see, okay, this is how they do their stuff. I do similar stuff. So basically, even when I started trying to do this whole community builder stuff, I did my research. I checked out a few community. So one of the communities, let me just say this like online, right? So one of the communities I actually looked at when I was like building out Starknet Africa was FTS Africa. I mean, unfortunately, they are
oh
no
yeah,
longer
back in the
here.
days.
Yeah. So I looked at their work and actually loved like what they did at the time. So these are the stuff anyone can do. First off, you have to be good at what you're doing before even maybe it's okay, you are feeling the pressure that maybe you're not a developer. So, like I said initially, focus on yourself, develop your skills, and I mean, put yourself out there because I know a few content creators that are doing good, but then it's all about positioning. I mean, let's say if I was not maybe not at the right position in 2022, maybe I wouldn't have been the community lead at Starknet Africa. I guess maybe I
Probably,
wouldn't
I
have
get
been
it.
a Starknet ambassador and stuff. So it's always about positioning, being at the right place at the right time. And the only way you can actually be at the right place at the right time is if you know your stuff, right? If you know your stuff, and when the opportunity comes around, you grab it basically. And but okay, I would admit the fact that you can say, okay, content creators, content writers, they don't have as much opportunities or maybe as much leverage as developers. But then it does not still mean that those guys, the content writers, marketers are not needed because I mean, when you are done coding, you need someone to be able to put your product out there, right?
Push
So
out the
they,
products.
they yeah, so they are still needed, but then you have to be that good for a company or maybe a project to actually like need you or as the case may be. So the question is, how do you get good? You kind of like look out for a few persons that are already doing great in the field you are trying to dive into, kind of like follow up, okay, this is how they do their stuff. You do similar stuff, add some spice to what you're doing, and you should be good generally. Then over time, but maybe if you're someone that just feel like the overnight success, then there will be an issue and like generally. But if you're someone that believe in process, like I said, over time you should be good. I mean, that's what I believe in. By the way, I mean, you
Like
should
if
be
you
good
just keep
at
doing
generally.
something for a long time, like diligently, you be good at it.
Hey, you keep doing something for a long time. What do you mean by that? I mean,
Like I'm
what
trying
actually?
to, is that what you mean by
Okay, so when you're let's say you're a content writer, right? Your whole this thing it would be to get better at what you do. So let's assume that your content has not been grabbing attention. So the question you would ask yourself, okay, what do I do for it to start grabbing attention? What does the other guy do for it to start grabbing attention? Because of course, at the end of the day, I mean, attention like I mean, it's a very very scarce what's it called? That you actually need to
commodity?
get it. Yeah, so scarce command. You need to get it. So and it's very difficult at the beginning, right? So what I'm trying to say. is if you are doing something, you have to do it, then learn how you're going to get better at it. Maybe by following a few mentors, a few people that are already doing this the same stuff. Then over time, if it's not maybe not working, you find a better way to do it. I mean, consistently, you should actually like get to some good points generally.
Oh, oh, wow. Nice,
Yeah,
nice. Very
because
nice.
basically you don't just go from um 1,000 followers to 5,000 overnight. I mean,
No.
you have to offer value for people to actually see your content. So yeah, so even maybe I know some people that maybe they actually offer value on their profile, but they're not getting that attention. So you have to ask yourself, okay, what strategies can I use?
What's the missing link?
Uh, exactly. What's the missing link? Okay, do I maybe need to feature someone on my profile that has a very big audience? Maybe they will retweet, their followers will say it. I mean, these are like the stuffs. Do I need to like host them on my Twitter space? I mean, there are a lot of like ideas you can explore. I mean, you just have to do something out of your head or so. So you just I actually believe so much in self-learning. I mean, I feel if someone wants something, they will go for it. I mean. That's actually what I believe so much because even when I learned crypto, I just got to know about it from Ponzi scheme. Then every other stuff I taught it myself because I was very curious to learn. So even I'm still very curious about a lot of stuff, right? So especially like all this AI agent that's currently going on. I don't really have much idea
Yeah.
about it, but yeah, it's out of curiosity. I get to read about stuff. I get to learn about stuff and say, okay, that. I mean, I'm not a developer, but maybe when someone like asks me some questions about like some things, I should be able to okay say, okay, these are
Please say
places
something.
I can direct you to, right? I mean, it just works. I mean, it just works. I mean, if you are curious enough, it just works because you can easily figure a lot of stuff out without maybe trying to spin out your brain from your head.
Mm, I get it. I get it. Interesting. Okay, and this will probably be my last question. I mean, I'm enjoying the
Hmm.
conversation anyway. So now you mentioned that meme coins, or I don't know if you exactly call it meme coins, brought you into crypto. But then there is this argument that okay, like you, for instance, now you put $5 into it, but some
Hmm.
are very funny that they will put something larger into it and it will drown. So, but what's your view on using meme coins as a way to onboard new people?
Mm. Well, I would say there is no best way to actually do it. I mean, just do it basically. But the issue is always about like the quality of people that are coming on board, right? I mean, but I feel meme coins are a very great way to onboard users generally because we have seen with let's say Trump meme coin, a lot of people got to know about
Yeah.
Solana. A lot of people got to know about Solana, and if this was happening on Ethereum, a lot of more people will get to know about Ethereum, right? Then the question is, okay, how did they go beyond that stage, right? So I feel okay. There's a lot of resources online, by the way. So meme coins are just like Telegram bots, but one issue I had with all those Telegram mini app was that some of them are not even like are not even should I say deployed on the blockchain? I don't know if that's actually how it worked at the
Just
time.
more like
So
fintech.
people, yeah. So people didn't really know, okay, what a wallet is, this, that, how you can go beyond that stage, and also they are quality users and their users are not like also there. So maybe this might be the kind of users that meme coins would bring. Then, but at the end of the day, it's also still on the builders, maybe on the
Whoever is
core
onboarding.
developers, maybe yeah, core builders on the crypto ecosystem to know that okay, since these guys are here, let's maybe I mean they already developed courses out there for people to learn from. So meme coins are not a bad way to onboard users, but then the quality of users that are actually coming through meme coins are not as high as the quality of users that would come through, let's say, a boot camp that maybe it might not even be technical or as case
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah,
But then you have the numbers from meme coins. Well, the question is, I mean, apart from that, you have to talk about the retention rates. So I don't really know the retention rate of people that come to crypto through meme coins, but I know it won't be that high. But then the number is high, but the retention rate might be low. But when it comes to maybe doing workshops or maybe doing boot camps, and the retention rate like could be, let me just use could be very high, because I mean these are quality people that wants to maybe go beyond just not maybe trying to cash out a few money and disappear or some kind of stuff. These are people that are quite interesting. So I would not say onboarding users through meme coin is bad. I would not say it's entirely good. I would say I'm neutral. I mean, I'm neutral in
it's
that
just
case. I'm
somewhere
just
in
neutral.
between.
Yeah, yeah. Because they can be good. I mean, they can be good in the fact, okay, they are making people to use your chain. I mean, I remember the brother token that launched on Starknet. I mean, it made a lot of people to know about Starknet. There was a lot of activities on
Yeah.
Starknet. So, there are cases like that, right? And of course, anyone would want a lot of activities to be going on their chain, and yeah, that's one of the ways you can benefit from a meme coin, because people will be interested to. I mean, people just like gambling, so that's it. So it's not bad. It's not entirely good, but it just there. I mean, it just works. So I mean, it's not something you end
Why
today.
support
Meme
works?
coin. Yeah, I mean, meme coin will always exist, and if it brings in the users, then fine. If the users are not so quality, it's still fine, because I mean, there are still a lot of initiatives to bring in quality users as well. So it's just in between for me.
Mm. I mean, I got the point. I got the point. I think for
Yeah.
me, well, I wouldn't say maybe because my bro lost some money in meme coins back in the days when we were trying to come in. But then
Mm.
I think that was actually what kind of mm, encouraged us to be like, okay, how can I actually make money to buy crypto? Now, not no longer meme coins, but actually just buy something. I think maybe the retention rate might not have accurate data for it, but I think at least maybe 10% of everything always turn out to be actually good users that will stick around the protocol and all that.
Mm.
I
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
enjoyed.
Well,
Okay, yeah, please go on. Go on, go on.
yeah. No, no, I'm good. I'm good. You were saying something.
No, I was saying that I'm actually enjoying this conversation, and I think we are running into 1 hour now. So, what's is there anything you probably wanted me to ask you, or anything you want to say? Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm very excited to be the first person on your podcast. I feel very honored to do this. And yeah, I mean, I'll be following up to see every other episode, right, that interests me generally. And if someone, let's say anyone that is maybe trying to explore crypto, Web3, maybe they don't actually like know where to start from. Basically, just start. I mean, what's his name? Trying to remember some certain name. I mean, you just have to start and try and learn the basics. I get to have people ask me, okay, this your crypto stuff. How do I start? Where do I start from this, that? Oh, then I ask them a question. Okay, what do you actually know about crypto? They say nothing. It's okay. It's not a rocket science. You have to know the basics. You have to
No
know,
something.
because when you don't know these things, over time it actually reflects to how maybe you you lose money, or maybe your wallet gets hacked. Maybe someone takes your private key, or both. If you know the difference between a private key, public key, you know how the blockchain works, you know what is Ethereum, you know Solana, you know what Starknet is, Layer 2 is, and all that stuff, right? It will help you generally. And apart from that, you should kind of like develop a skill. I mean, you must not be a developer, of course, but just know that the let's say opportunities for non-developers might like be a little less, so let's say when it comes to a beer market or as the case may be. But then when you're very good, I mean, you'll be employable anyway. And what else? I mean, I didn't actually come here to give a lot of advice because me too, I need a few advice for myself. So I would, I would actually love to, I would actually love to like let's just take it, let's just reverse it. So, what would you say to me? Let's say as okay, you know me, let's say as a manager, community builder, like what would you say to me? Like so far, you have been seeing me on Twitter, anywhere. It's
Okay, okay. For me, I think, yeah, basically Starknet. I think there are some people that when I see them
mm,
intuitively, I just see Starknet. For example, there was this guy that was working at Alchemy then. We call him
mm,
Albert. He now owns his own company now. But back then, when I hear Albert, I'll just say, oh, Albert of Alchemy, stuff like that. So when I see you, Darlington, Sarah, Chloe P, UBJ, the next thing that comes to my mind, okay, Starknet. So I think and you made me kind of love the idea of community management. Before, I'm not really much into community, just do my thing and move out. But I think with the way Starknet in Africa and Starknet generally has been handling communities, very impressive. Plus the longevity part. I mean, I've seen communities just whistle out within months. So the longevity part is actually very, very impressive. Yeah. So more like a well done thing.
yes, okay, cool. I mean, that's all I can say. That's all I can say. I mean, everybody should just keep being themselves and keep building. I mean, the right time would come for everyone. You just have to be consistent and be at the right place at the right time.
Okay. And that's a good note to end everything. So thank you so much, Paul, for coming around. It's a pleasure. And yeah, let's keep in touch.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me as well.
Yeah, all right, big man.
Bye. Yeah.